Hello everybody, I'm SJM and welcome to Craft Exile 2. Not gonna lie on this one, I saw Direwolf pick this up recently and kind of piqued my interest. I had played the previous two Craft Exiles, Harmony and Dissonance, and not gonna lie, those two packs, well, I think Harmony wasn't too bad, but Dissonance kind of really threw me off of playing adventure packs for quite a while, like with magic systems and whatnot. I don't know if that was a problem with the mod at the time or the Minecraft version, but there's yeah, a lot of things that I didn't like there. I've played in this now for probably 20 hours or so in a test world, and I'm enjoying it a lot more. So I think we'll dive into do this, and but this episode we're just gonna do like an episode 0 thing, I think, and just kind of explain everything in a concise format here, so that if you want to jump in and do it for yourself, then you've got some reference material, because I found that there isn't this kind of information out there really at all. So we'll go through the first things first. So when you initially spawn in, you'll spawn in a village, and it's a good place to just hang out for 1 or even 2 days and complete off the prologue quest line. So if you push H on the keyboard, the default is this hub, and you can access your quests from here. You'll also start with a quest book, but I've thrown that away now because, as you all know, if you watch my channel at all, I despise having quest book in my inventory. But you can also hotkey it if you want to. But why when we've got it there just available? So the prologue is all of this. This is all just readmes and checklist quests. I'm not going to be reading it on camera here, but just read carefully through all of these. This is the first thing that you should do, and you should be, even before you go look at any chests in the village that you're in, maybe aside from having a place that's close to a bed, maybe that might be your priority, because you don't want to get caught out at night without being close to a bed. So maybe just go lock yourself into a house with a bed, read through all of this stuff, do all these checklist quests. There's a couple here that you've got to take the spawn egg that you get. You'll get a spawn egg here to go kill a zombie, and then there's another one down here for a skeleton. Just be aware of two things with those quests: is that you don't want to have the kill taken from you either by the iron golem that might possibly be walking around in said village, or by burn damage from being in the daylight. So either pop down, like do it inside your little house, or pop down into a cave or something, somewhere that's not going to have your kill stolen from you, because otherwise you'll have to find find a real zombie in order to complete the quest, because it does require that you get the kill on the zombie for that quest. So as you go through there, you'll learn about all of the mechanics, but I'll try to briefly explain a lot of them here quickly as well. So there are these things called these common stones, which you'll find pretty quickly. These are just for repairing your equipment. There are these stat reset potions, class reset potions, and talent reset potion. Do I have a talent reset potion kicking around here somewhere? I may not. But those are to reset your, stats. So G is another hotkey, which takes you straight to all of the information you want, but it's also this one, the mine and slash hub. G will bring you straight here as well. So these are your stats. So you have your strength, intelligence, and dexterity. And then there are tabs here on the right side. There's a complete wiki inside the game here. So tabs over here for different things if you just want to randomly search around in there. Otherwise, there are sometimes you'll be hovering over an item and it'll bring you to this wiki as well to help explain things a little bit there. Characters, this is a place where you can snapshot the state of your current character in. So you can see I went in here at level 13 and I just took the snapshot, just, hit this button here. Oh, I think yeah, I think I just reset my entire character here now. If we look at this, all of my stuff got unequipped. I'm back to level 13 where I was, and all of my stuff got unequipped. And my skills got reset to where they were before. My talents tree got reset. So just be careful with that if you're going to be playing with that. But this is something that you can do if, say, you don't like the current state of your character. Then you can do something like that and just snapshot and then swallow your reset potions and then completely redo your character in another way. And then if you don't like that, then you can go back to your other one fairly easily. I should be able to put all of my gear back on again. Yes. Hat. My booties, my pants. My skills should be reset again. Yeah, okay, perfect. All right, back to explaining these. So yeah, just with the characters and the stat resets, those kind of work hand in hand if you want to try out different things in the game. Salvaging, this is a little bit advanced, but at some point in the game, you're going to get a whole bunch of this gear that, you can't use because, it's like for your wrong class. Like this is more for a dexterity based class. So this is dexterity. It's a level 15 piece of gear. It requires at least 15 in the dexterity. Normally you'd come and you'd throw this into the salvaging station. You'd put this into here and then you'd get back, depending on this is a common piece of equipment, so I'd get a common stone back, maybe a lesser essence, just depending on what it is. But the thing with this salvaging button here is you can automatically salvage some gear. So say at some point you have absolutely no need to look at common gear ever again, you could turn that on, and then whenever you pick up a piece of common gear, it will automatically salvage it for you. So if we throw this down onto the ground now, and you can see I've got 2 common stones here already. I'll pick that up, and it got salvaged automatically to a common stone. Just note that in the salvaging station, you'll get the essences, but with this feature here, you don't get the essences. So as long as you're not overloaded with items, it's probably a good idea just to min-max everything and bring it back and use your salvaging station for getting rid of that gear that you don't want anymore. Oh yeah, I just wanted to also show, so this piece of boots, these are actually broken. They have 9 durability left of 130, so if I just right click one of the common stones on there, it gives it 50, so it's up to 59. Now back to 109. And just repair all of my gear back up again. This is just keep an eye on that. Always carry around some of these common repair things so that you don't break gear, especially if it's something that's important for you. Like this piece of gear here as trap damage. I'm not using traps, so it's probably not super important for me to try to hold on to this common piece of gear, but I don't have anything else at this point right now, so I want to make sure that I keep it for now. So I'll just repair it up a little bit. These you get hand over fist, so there's no real need to try and hold on to them. And then you can get the higher tier ones, like the uncommon ones, and these basically, if you can just put 9 common stones together to get an uncommon stone, and that goes so on and so forth up all the way. Rare stones, epic stones, and there's legendary stones after that. And that's the highest tier of these stones. Is the there's mythic then there, so there's nothing past mythic. You can see in this thing I've got a unique hard leather chest. This is almost no point in putting it into the salvaging station because there is no unique stone. So if I put this in here, usually this always takes a few seconds to work, it won't even break it down because there's nothing to break it down into. So just note that for the unique pieces, they're not salvageable. All right, enough on the salvaging. Let's put these stat potions back away, or reset potions. Back to here. So classes. In the classes here, it says you can select from 2 of 6 classes. So basically you get to dual class in there. And there's one thing, there is a 7th class that's been added since this tooltip was made. So you'll find this in a couple of places throughout the pack. It's still in beta, so I'm not expecting everything to be polished and perfect at this point, but just note that the fighter, elementalist, hunter, minstrel, shaman, and warlock. In addition to that, there is now this class, which is the rogue class. Basically, the skills that you have start down here at level 1 and go up. Basically, you're not required to put points in the lower tier skills to use the higher tier skills. Because I'm already level 22 here, if I had a spell point, I could purchase this execute skill if I wanted to, because I am already above level 20. So just to note for that, when you are choosing which class that you want to play as, pay attention. Obviously you'll be using one of these early skills at the first, and there's a couple of different theories, I guess, that you could have. You could have a whole bunch of skills at level 1, and like the cooldown is going to matter a bit. So this has an energy cost of 41 and a cooldown of 2 seconds. So this is fairly quick. You'll be able to fire these off relatively fast, but not super fast. It's not like attacking or anything like that to use these spells there. Some of them have much larger cooldowns. Let's look at my class here. I played as the shaman class. I chose to go with this lightning spear because it had the low cooldown on it. Had I decided I wanted to try and play with this totem, this totem isn't so bad because this is a damage skill. This is a healing skill. But say instead I wanted to play with this lightning totem, I can only cast one of my totems every 15 seconds. And that's a long time, especially when you're going through some of these structures or something like that. Like, it would require pulling a bunch of creatures back to where your totem is to be able to deal damage to them. There are things that can lower that cooldown, but at the early game, you probably want to have something with the lower cooldowns, and then you can, you have 2 theories. Like I said, you could have a whole bunch of skills with low cooldowns and just cycle between them for dealing damage. Especially if you miss with one of your skills, it's a real feel bad moment if you're playing as the spell casting type. And then the other theory, I guess, is to go all in on one of your skills, which is what I did here. I just put everything in there until I got up high enough, and then um, decided to go with my next skill, which was this one here, because I don't like having too many buttons to push all at one time. So the skills are tied to this bar over here. I guess I should have went over the GUI with you at all. This is pretty straightforward, but this is health. This one not everybody's going to have, but this is magic shield. This is for magic casters. This is like an extra um, pool of hit points. So you'll get hit points taken from this for the most part. Some damage types will damage your health directly and go right past your shield, but that's a different thing. That's for later. But yeah, this one not everybody will have unless you're wearing a piece of equipment that has energy shield. This is your mana. This is what's used for casting spells. This is energy. This is what's used for swinging your weapon for the melee type classes, and maybe the bow classes. Maybe, like, I haven't tried shooting arrows, to be honest with you. And then this is your experience here. You'll note down here you do have a vanilla experience bar, but that's not used at all in relation to your spell casting and the mine and slash system at all. So that is the classes in a nutshell. So yeah, this is the rogue, which isn't in this list, and this is the hunter class, shaman class, the minstrel class. This is the warlock class, the fighter class, and this is the mage class here. So if you've seen Direwolf's thing, this is what he's playing at. He took the fireball, he took the ice shard. He's taken all of these ones so that, you know, every 2 seconds he can cast this one, every 5 seconds he can cast this one, every 2 seconds he can cast this one, so he can cycle through a bunch of different spells, and that's a totally viable way to do it. Just you're going to have different damage types along the way. There is the only thing to worry about there. When you have chosen a skill to use, you're going to use this tab to assign it to a slot. So you've got these slots here, and there's 8 slots in total. So you can cycle between your hotbars, and the default button is caps lock. So if I hit caps lock, it'll change it over to the secondary bar, which I don't have anything on. And there's the main bar there. In these, once you have these skills, then you can apply some of the support gems to them as well. So with my main skill here, I use this lightning penetration support, and then this lesser barrage projectile support, and an expanded area support gem. So this just increases the area of effect of this. No, this doesn't even have an area tag. I swear it's doing something. Let's just take a look at the base skill here. So if I fire it off, shoots out a little spear, and it goes forward and hits in an area there. I use this barrage one. This gives me +3 projectiles to that skill, which makes this into it always takes a few seconds for things put into that GUI to take effect, but now you can see here I'm casting a great big huge wave basically across the screen. It's really good for taking care of the creatures. Just note that it does, you know, lower the damage of my skill, but it spreads it out across a whole bunch of different projectiles. The only thing I don't know about that is if it shotguns or not. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, but there is a possibility that it does. And then I put on this area support gem. Wait a few seconds for it to kick in. Let's go kill this Enderman just to show Another Enderman to kill. So in addition to the vanilla drops, so you've got some money drops there. You'll see at the beginning of the game you'll get a wallet, which can go into your curio slot here for the wallet. And you can access your wallet through this radial menu just over here. We can see in here I've got 6 emerald, 6 gold, and iron, coppers, and everything in this wallet kind of upgrades itself. So every time I hit 10 copper coins, it makes an iron coin for me. Every 10 there, so on and so forth. Sometimes you'll get quest rewards for these coins and they'll go into your inventory. Just throw them onto the ground and you'll be able to pick them up and they'll go into your wallet automatically as long as your wallet is in your curio slot. So jewels is tied to the talent tree, and we'll go over that in a minute here. So with the talent tree here, this is insane. There is a lot here to take in, and at the very beginning you have to choose one of 6 points to choose from. So the staff, the hammer, the axe, there's a spear down here, there's a dagger, where is it? The bow is there, and the dagger is there. Is that 7? 6 or 7 to start out from. If you're familiar with Path of Exile at all, you should have the gist of what to do in here, but if you're not, you'll be lost really, really badly. But one thing that's super handy in here is that it's got a search bar. So you just kind of want to take into account when you've chosen your classes, you want to, and the skill that you want to use, pay attention to the tags, which is the white text there. So the tags on this one: projectile, damage, magic, and lightning. So basically all of the spells in the shaman were lightning, which is why I took it, because it was real easy just to kind of focus on one damage type. So that's kind of the damage type I'm looking for on my gear and in the talent tree. So I just went here, I zoomed out like this, I typed lightning in, and it came out. These are the only places where the lightning was, so I knew that I wanted to start up here. That was good because this gives me higher intelligence too. And I just kind of, when I was going through this, I'm just like, oh, do I want intelligence or do I want damage? Well, I'd probably just take the damage, so I just went damage up here. So this is all magic skill damage. Because my skill has magic tag on it, this applies to it. Then I got to here, and then I had 3 choices: fire, cold, and lightning. Obviously we went with lightning. I just continued up this way. I had a choice at this point to go mana or health. I chose to go with mana because there is a skill that changes mana into health, and I'll show you that here in a second. And then I came up here because this was the main wheel for lightning damage, right? It's got all lightning damage over here and lightning damage over here. So that's kind of why I went this way. There are these major nodes, which in this game they call them game changer nodes or talents. So this one is called Mana Battery. So 35% of all damage is absorbed by my mana, which is why I'm focusing on getting a great big mana pool as well. Just note that this kind of does have a little bit of a downside, that if you get into it and you get starting to get hit by a whole bunch of sources of damage all at the same time, I'll lose all my mana and I won't have any ability to cast spells from there. So obviously that's something that you have to take into effect when you go into those. I don't know how to search for the game changer talents, but they are located in various different places around there. So if you're playing a curse type character, then this would be something that you want, right? just a lot of these things I don't know how to work, but you know, obviously if you're playing a summoner character, plus 3 extra summons is going to be better. Each of them will do a little bit less damage, but that's kind of a lot of things do that similarly, right? Same over here, like you got this game changer over here. So these big ones are the kind of the ones that you want to focus on getting and building around. But just note that, you know, if they change the way your skill works in a significant way, it might not be exactly what you're expecting. But that's the general way to use the skill tree. And then I guess in the talent tree here, there are these nodes called jewel sockets. So once you've allocated one of these jewel sockets, then you will be able to use this slot to put in a jewel to use. And jewels are basically more of the same, just giving you extra things. So this Viridian jewel would give me fire resistance and cold resistance if I had a socket and I applied it. The last thing to talk about, which I totally skipped over in the skills section there, are my auras. Basically passive effects that I have going on, and that's done in this bar down here. So I've got a mana regen augment and a magic shield regen augment. So basically you'll have, if I take these out, it'll take a second or two to update, but you start with 100 augment points to play with. And this augment reservation on this one is 25. So I can put that one in there and it'll take it down to 75. And then if I put this one in there, it'll take it down to 50 like you saw. You can't have 2 of the same augments in there. So if I had another mana regen augment, I wouldn't be able to put it in here. I'll just have to choose which one has the higher value and put it in, or if it had a different augment reservation, I could, you know, pick and choose how I wanted to do them that way. Just about all of these things that you're not using can be thrown into the salvager to get them back. So if you don't need them anymore, or if you don't ever think you'll need it, like this expanded area of effect, maybe I won't ever use it. So maybe a good thing to do would be to go and put it into the thing. Like I think now that I was explaining all of that to you, in my skills I had this area of effect one. I don't think that takes effect because this skill does not have an area tag. So if I looked at the classes and I went to my thing, this lightning totem, it does have an area tag. So that area skill gem would have an effect on that. It just doesn't on my lightning spear. And yeah, my chain lightning doesn't either. So this one does have an area. So I could put the area into this entangling seed one. Actually, I can't because I don't have enough spots for it. So in the tooltips, it will tell you support slots and what you need to be able to equip them there. So this support slot is 0 of a 5 available because I think I have to be at least level 4 in a skill to be able to apply a supports gem in there. And then also your character level as well. So I wasn't able to put my wasn't able to put this third support gem in until I was level 20, even though this lightning spear was maxed out at 16. So you can see the next slot will unlock when I get up to player 30, and then I'll be able to put in a fourth support one there to buff the damage of my skill even more. All right. What else to talk about in here? So I guess the next thing to talk about are the professions. So once you've finished looking at all the prologue, you can kind of jump into Act 1 if you want there, which is going to tell you, like, just go through. It's got a little bit of a story to the whole thing. It'll tell you about doing different tasks and quests and different things that are in there. But also the other main thing, actually, after you've done the prologue, is I would go through this professions before you jump into Act 1 and get started on some of these. All of the professions are fairly good, and you will need the items from these professions to do some of the necessary crafting in the game. The only one apparently that you should avoid in the current version, which is 0.5.2 of the beta, is husbandry. Apparently it's not worth the time that you put into it, so it's only kind of a stepping stone here to get to the alchemy one there. But once you get into these, it'll have you craft up all of these stations. So the salvaging station, the gear crafting station, the cooking station. These I have all over here. These are a little bit annoying in the fact that you cannot shift click things into it. So if you want to insert things quickly, then you'll have to either use a hopper or put things into it manually like that. And if you make a mistake with these, they give you a few seconds for it before it just does its thing on your item. I better put my other ring on there while I'm thinking about it. And yeah, so keeping your equipment, especially when you get into certain types, like you'll be finding all sorts of stuff that you can't use. It's best just to go over and salvage it up. If it doesn't have anything, like if you don't ever plan on using it, you could, in theory, go with two different kinds of stats here. So you could play a dexterity and a strength character, because dexterity gives you attack speed and strength gives you attack damage. So if you're doing a melee or a bow type character, maybe splitting your points between the two is a good idea. But I just decided to go all in on the intelligence here, because it has, bonuses to my mana regen, to my magic shield, and to my magic skill damage as well. One other thing on this page, which I don't see a lot of use, like this isn't exactly reflected properly with your gear and everything. I think it does take into effect your gear, but not your talents. Although it does have the 20% lightning damage on there now. But yeah, it has 0% all skill damage. When I've got in my talents skill damage on these guys here, right? Magic skill damage. So, not sure. But the one handy one is this professions tab here, which tells you what level of your professions are. So just note that your profession level cannot exceed your mine and slash level. So there's no reason to just stay in your base and farm up to level 50 and not go out and do any of the adventuring / general leveling stuff, because it's just not worth it there in the end. The reason why you do need these professions is because you're going to need it to do some of this crafted uh, gear. So you'll find these in the world, these stat souls. Basically, you can take, if you manage to drop a vanilla piece of item or of gear, or if you craft it, just, if I take 5 iron and I make a helmet like that, it'll be a vanilla type of helmet. Because why do I want to do that one when it's got no durability left? But if you have a vanilla one, it says that gear lacks a soul. Souls contain -/stats. Items without souls are useless. And then souls are crafted with stations or drop from mobs. So these are the kinds that drop from the mobs. You would just take that and apply it onto there. And now I have a dodge rating. So this is a dexterity base piece of gear, even though I crafted it out of iron. Like I'd think that if it was leather, you'd get the agility one, but no, it crafts it randomly. It picks randomly from the 3 kinds when you apply those stat souls onto it as to what you're going to get. The way around that is you can do the crafted armor souls. So the recipes for this in the gear crafting station, you'll need some of this, this, and this. Just note that in REI here, these with the stations don't tell you the items here, but if you go to this recipe tree, this will tell you what they are. So I'll need a spiritual ore, 4 uncommon stone, a leather, 2 iron ingots, and 5 copper coins. So I have to just pull the copper coins out of my wallet, 2 iron ingots, throw all of those into the gear crafting station, and then it would craft up this crafted uncommon armor soul. Now, because I'm a mage type, I only would like to have the cloth type armor. There is a way to force that, and that's with these soul modifiers. So a cloth soul modifier, it's just a craft like this: iron and paper, leather, leather and iron, iron and copper if you wanted to get the plate if you're a fighter type. But you just take this guy and you apply it to the crafted armor soul, and we've got another guy coming along here, so as you can see, it really sucks when you miss with your skills, which is why I really liked that wide projectiles one. So, but anyways, now that I've got this crafted uncommon armor soul, I can apply it to this vanilla gear, and I will get an upgrade. Basically, it's got extra energy, which is useless for me, but it's got chaos resistance, whereas this one only has gear's defense. And this has a total magic shield of 29, and this has 43. So that's an upgrade for me. And I can just repair it up, top it up there. And now we've got a new pair of pants to wear for now. So that's the way you're going to be doing that, and you kind of want to keep on working on your gear crafting because this crafting level 1, you'll probably only get like minor stuff, but once you get up to gear level 20, you'll be able to do this recipe, and you'll get a better tiers of rolls on all of your gear when you craft it. So this is going to be something I didn't do because I was figuring it all out, but in my real playthrough, I'll be doing a lot more gear crafting along the way as we get the resources to do it. So we'll have to go mining to get these spiritual ores to be able to do those craftings, and that's, yeah, you have to do a bunch of those other things. So if you need weapons, you can do that. I don't know if you can force the weapon style, like if you can force it onto a staff or force it into a spear type. I don't know that that is actually in there, but with the armor one, there is these ones there, and it is all explained in the professions quest line there. So in here, it's just this one there. Right. I guess the last couple of things are items that you want off the top. Obviously, going around, you've got all of these extra drops. It's modded Minecraft. There's going to be all sorts of extra stuff to carry around, so backpacks are essential. So if we look at the recipe for the won't even show me the recipe. So it's simple backpacks. The recipe is just your basic chest, 4 leather and 4 string, and you'll get a backpack, and then you can surround it with iron, and then you'll get an upgraded one. So that's the one that I'm on here with this one, with this size. So it doubles the size. If I did it again with gold, it would be, I would get 81 slots instead of the 54 in the iron here, so on and so forth. But the really handy one is this mine and slash backpack. So you just need to get an iron backpack and 4 rare stones, and you'll get one of these guys. And this is super handy because it's sort of like 5 iron backpacks in one. Not really, but kind of. So in the first tab here, any gear that drops, it automatically comes into here. So unlike with the sophisticated backpacks, you don't need the pickup upgrade for it to work. It'll work automatically, and it'll pick up all of those things. If I had dropped any maps, that they would go in there. Any of the currencies that drop, so if these stones were on the ground, they went automatically into the currency slot here. Same with these runes. Have no idea on the runes just yet, but if you right-click with them in your hand, you can see. So this rune is used. If I had a Nos rune and a Fey rune, I could make a steel rune word. So it's sort of like Diablo in that regard, Diablo 2. And you would get those extra bonus stats. So that's I just was kind of waiting to get enough of these runes to put together, but I didn't notice anything that I wanted to use with the ones that I got so far. So I haven't even experimented with it. Just know how to use it. So yeah, this mine and slash backpack is super good. Any skill things, augments, support skills, so on and so forth, will all go into that tab there. And then it'll be really handy, because I haven't even tried this, but I wanted to see, because you do get just absolutely inundated with all of this profession materials, mine and slash profession materials. Just so much of it all over the place. And it'll be a good idea just to, we've got this backpack, just keep it all in there, and then it's out of the way and not sucking up a ton of all of your storage slots. I think I've got a bunch more of it in here, right? Maybe, maybe not. A little bit of it anyways. I'm not going to be doing all that on camera with you, but just keeping it all in there. Just keep it out of the road and in one place if you need to go looking for it. So yeah, this is far and away the best thing that you can craft in the early game. The other thing is if you need to transport mobs. So if you want to get some cows for a cow farm, if you want to do the husbandry thing, like I wouldn't do it for the husbandry theme, but maybe just having it for food is an idea, because there is a um, sort of like spice of life type of um, mod in this pack, but this is a super simple recipe put together to get a cage. You can grab an animal, bring it back to your base for farming and so on and so forth. I guess there's also magnets that I haven't bothered to get because I haven't fought too many of the Endermen. They're pretty scary. But getting a magnet upgrade on a backpack is an idea, but I don't know if it would conflict with the mine and slash backpack at all. But having one of these guys couldn't hurt at all, right? Just takes an ender pearl and some basic materials for that guy. And a little bit, you'll have to go to the nether if you want to get the upgraded one, obviously. So, yeah, magnet, backpack, cage, a couple of the simple things to go in there. I think that's it for this one here. I guess there's these jewels. No, what are they called? They're sockets. So all these go into your sockets. I've been kind of avoiding doing them for right now, just because if you put 3 of these together, you get the next tier up. And I just kind of want to keep collecting them and tiering them up until I get stuck in a place where I actually need to find upgrades, and then I can come in and grab some of these depending on what my needs are and start socketing them into my equipment. Like, why would I want to put any of the sockets into this piece of gear, which I know I'm not going to be keeping for very long, right? Well, I've kept it for the 20 hours so far, but, well, not that whole time. I've had this since level 17 or so, 17 or 18. But it's a common piece of equipment, and it doesn't have any stats on it, which are vital to my build, right? Same with this one. This one's okay, but not anything super special, so doesn't even have jewel sockets on it. There are items in here that can add sockets, right? So this orbit digging could add a socket to a piece of gear. Not a 100% chance, but there is a chance there. Alchemy is another big one. I haven't done a lot with it, but these restoration potions can. I don't know if they work on. Yeah, works on shield and mana and probably health as well, and you can use them really quickly. So invigoration, maybe this is the one for mana because it's blue, and this one's for health because it's red. Not sure. I haven't really used them at all, but they've got a fairly long cooldown on them as well, so they're not super useful either. All right, that's enough rambling. Wrap up this episode here. I'll be jumping into a new character. I will not be doing this lightning character again. I think it's really good. I've been liking it so far. Handled all of the content so far, with the exception of the mansion was pretty much a cakewalk for doing everything with this one, so I wanted to try something different that's a little bit more nuanced maybe than just going all in on lightning spells and such. So watch out for a Let's Play, which I'll be starting up here pretty soon, and maybe with this this game here, it's more suited to a streaming type of content, because it's hard to set up a lot of different situations and everything. So maybe we'll do more longer form content for this pack here. Anyways, that's it for this one. Oh yeah, one other thing. I guess waystones, the ones in the villages you cannot break, but if you find towers, like they're pretty skinny. They look like the Apotheosis Towers, if you know the mod. but you go up to the top of those ones. There's waystones at the top of those that you can break and bring back to your house. So I went over to here. You can see it doesn't even like slowly break or anything like that. You just can't break them at all. So just note that you can get a waystone. You can also craft them as well if you've got the ingredients. So there we go, constructed waystone. So you'll need an epic stone, obsidian, sand, and the warp stone, which is ender pearls and amethyst. So nothing too hard. Just a little bit of a pain to get, but you're going to be doing lots of exploring out there as well. Oh, one last thing. One more thing. So in the Discord, I found this picture, which kind of gives you an overview of where you should be for each of the things. So level 1 to 15 in the overworld, and then you're going to be heading to the nether. You noticed I was level 22 and I'm still kind of in the overworld. I just finished the quest line for the overworld and now starting to go towards the nether. My nether spawn was horrible, so I didn't bother getting too much into it there, but obviously moving forward, that's the next stage that you want to be. But there's no reason to stay in the overworld here any longer. For general like going and exploring structures and everything like that. So you won't find a ton of stuff to do in the regular overworld because it's meant to push you into the next and to keep following those quest lines and the acts in the quest book, right? So be working on the Nether next, then Undergarden, then Everbright, then the End, and then the other side. And then there is an overworld mirror as well. Basically, it creates a copy of your overworld. So if you wanted to do, if you're more comfortable playing there, that's a place where that's what you would want to do. And it kind of walks you through that at the end of the chapter 1 quest line anyways. Oh, this button, please. So at the end of Act 1, it tells you about the mirror dimension here as well. It just takes this this setup here. It's almost like a... Well, it's not... Yeah, 9 flowers surrounded by stone bricks, and then you bone meal one of the flowers, and it'll open up a portal for you to go through. I don't think your base will be there, but everything else will be exactly the same. So if you found something that you wanted to do multiple times, nice mine shaft with some good loot chests or so on and so forth, nice setups or whatever, they'll be in the exact same place in that mirrored overworld. And it will scale a lot better to you. Like, I won't find any more mobs in this overworld that are higher than level 15. Okay? Spider's 15, he's 15, 15, 15. So anyway, the drops will be kind of the same as well. Won't be able to find very many upgrades here moving forward. Because all of these stuff will be dropping at the lower level. Alright, that's it for the episode 0. I think I've touched on everything that I've learned in the first 20 hours or so. And yeah, looking forward to playing through more of this pack. I appreciate you all for checking it out, and we will see you in the next one.